No, you want to get really like old school, like fucking old guy with it. Back in my day, blackbirds, they kept them separate from all the other birds.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah,
I guess it depends how old school we're going.
yeah.
I'm not that old, sir.
I was gonna say we're not going like MAGA old here.
No, not MAGA old. I'm embarrassed to say this, but it took me forever to figure out what MAGA means. I was like, everybody's saying MAGA, 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 MAGA. I'm like, what's this MAGA shit? Then one day I was like, Make America Great Again.
Oh,
Oh, it
I
was like
just
light dawn on
oh
Marblehead.
I just got that.
It pretty much, yeah. I was like, oh, I'm retarded.
You will have no argument from me on that regard, good sir.
The prosecution rests again.
The prosecution is at so much rest it is in a coma at this point.
Not supposed to incriminate yourself, but then there's me. So, did you commit that crime? Yes. No. Shit.
The sheep made me do it.
uh, sheep lives matter. Bah. The war cry of my people.
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. I'm looking for a new podcast host.
Oh man.
I know what you're thinking. Andrew might have to put up with this. Will he or won't he?
Whoa, get it? Wooly? Wool-y?
Thank you, Bruce. That was the joke.
I'm really sweatering. No, I was like, I got nothing. I really lit this dumpster on fire.
Dude, this dumpster was on fire long before I got here.
Oh man.
uh,
Let us cast does not represent sheep or.
Sometimes. Sometimes. Drive me crazy here. But yeah, like I think my aunt and uncle are still voting for Trump though.
Oh really?
Yeah, which it's pretty fucked. Like I remember before the last election, it was me, my mom, and my uncle. We were driving a car somewhere. I forget where the fuck we were going. But we all of a sudden he started talking politics and whatnot. He's like, "Oh yeah, this guy Trump, he's pissing off a lot of people. It must mean he's doing something good." Like, no, no.
I mean, it could mean that, but
no. When was the last time like somebody really pissed you off and you were like, "Hey, you know what? This guy knows what they're doing."
well, no, but like it's sort of like it goes back to what I was saying, which is sort of like you have to upset the apple cart in order for the apple cart to change. So, if you're upsetting the people who are the status quo, then that might be a good thing that they're getting pissed off. But because maybe that means something's going to change. But then when it doesn't change, then it's like, okay, well then, what was the point of all that shit?
It changed, but it changed for the worse.
Not really, because I mean it's still the same political bullshit. It's just now with more racism, and it's like at 70% more racism.
Worst infomercial ever. Like, welcome to America. What? Now with 75% more racism.
That's what it is. 75% more racism, sexism, and orange. 75% more orange.
Unbelievable, man. But like getting back to like when my brother was talking to me, he's like, how has he affected you personally? Like, okay, well, for one thing, he pulled out of the Paris Climate Accord, so that means our air is going to get fucking dirtier, our fucking water is going to get dirtier. Mm-hmm. He's rolled back all the fucking regulations from Obama for clean water, clean air, cleaner energy sources. He's like, and he's like, well, I'm doing a great job. I'm doing a great job. Like, like, no, you're not. No, you're not.
Yeah, I think the reason he cited for going out of the Paris agreement was because of like jobs that were going to be lost or something like that. Like he was saying that, 'cause at least that's what I think he was alluding to. For me, the last debate was actually somewhat insightful because he actually finally, I felt like he was like Trump was actually explaining some of his mentality, which still doesn't really make sense or make me support him.
Nope.
But at the very least, you're like, okay, well, at least I know where he's coming from. He's fucking wrong or he's an idiot, but at least I know where he's coming from now.
He's
But when he
both.
was like, I came out of the Paris agreement because it was going to lose a bunch of jobs, it's like, because we don't want that regulation shit. We need the jobs. We need the money. It's again putting money before the interests of people. So it's like, okay, like that makes sense that that's what you think is a good idea, but that's not what I think is a good idea.
Yeah, you know what else fucking like causes us to lose a lot of jobs? Not responding to a fucking pandemic.
Right.
Like
Right.
theoretically, somebody pointed this out. They said, look, if Trump loses the election, he's out of the White House. He will be the first president to leave the White House with less jobs than he started with.
Really?
Oh yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
I mean, it's not surprising, but that's crazy.
Like the other thing is, I think going back to, I think it was like going back to Bill Clinton. There was only one president, like one Republican, who won the popular vote and the Electoral College, became president, and that was Bush Jr., like W's reelection campaign. That's it.
Huh.
Other than that, Democrats have won the fucking popular vote.
Wow. That's crazy.
That is so. Like that's another thing I want to see happen. Get rid of the Electoral College. It's fucking bullshit.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah. I don't remember when that was established. Like, I don't remember my history. I know it wasn't, like, like it definitely wasn't like 1776 right out the gate. But like,
No,
whenever that came into the picture,
no, it was a little while after that. I want to say it was around the time of
yeah.
like the second election or something like that. It was like
Well, it was probably a little while after, probably after that even, because remember, like there had to be like the Louisiana Purchase. Like it wasn't. It's not like they just landed and boom, it was the United States.
no,
It took time for them to like acquire California and and all the territories out west and
no, but
Louisiana.
it was also like the colonies and had to do with like slavery and whatnot. And not only that, like people that are like, oh, I'm a constitutionalist, like blah 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 blah. Like, all right, you want to go back to when the Constitution was originally written? Okay, good luck explaining to everyone who's African American that, hey, guess what, you can't vote and you only count as 3/5 of a person.
Yeah, seriously.
Good luck with that.
Well, that's the thing that people fail to realize is that our whole system is in place from hundreds of years ago, and we cannot possibly expect something that was established hundreds of years ago to still work just as well as it did then as it would now. That's just unrealistic. You can't, like, if I build something today, if I go and build like a table, can I guarantee that it's going to stand just as well in 200 years? Fuck no.
No, but
Because things just shut down or they don't work. Like there are new shit has come to light, man. You know?
fucking hey, man, we gotta bring that up. uh, not only that, but like even Jefferson himself said, like, look, we need to change things. I'm looking up this quote right now. It says, "I'm not an advocate for frequent changes in law and constitutions, but laws and institutions must go hand in hand with the progress of the human mind. As that becomes more developed, more enlightened, there's that word again, as new discoveries are made, new truths discovered, manners and opinions change." uh, Hang on a second, I'm getting fucking pop-ups. Fucking hate this shit. New truths discovered.
You hold these truths to be self-evident that pop-ups are created equal.
Fuck pop-ups. That's my opinion. With the change of circumstances, institutions must advance also to keep pace with the times. We might as well require a man to wear still the coat which fitted him when he was a boy in civilized society to remain ever under the under the regimen of the barbaric ancestors. So he's basically saying, like, look, yeah, this has to change with the times.
And when has it? Very rarely.
Yeah.
Very rarely. I mean, we occasionally throw in an amendment or something, but for the most part, ever since shit was started, it's been more or less the same.
Yeah.
We added in women's votes. We added in supposed equal rights But that's kind of a joke, obviously, if you look at today. Someone actually said that they've lived through the 60s and they live through today, and they think that now, I've heard several people actually who grew up in the 60s or were around in the 60s who say that actually now is worse racially than it was in the 60s. And that's kind of hard to imagine.
It really
Because
kind of is.
that's when like the whole civil rights thing like really like obviously slavery was outlawed a long time ago, but if you think obviously that that's when racism ends, like no, you're crazy. But like man, it really came to a head in the 60s, and to think that now is worse than that is a little hard to believe. That says something, you know?
That really does. Yeah, and just
It's sad. It's sad that it's come to that. That we've not only not evolved, we have devolved. Like,
yeah,
how did that happen? I guess because it's sort of like we alluded to something before about like whatever's easiest wins out. Like so why do we keep electing the same kinds of people? Because it works. Because it for whatever reason the system keeps confirming itself. So like when people breed, stupidity keeps breeding because it keeps winning. There's nothing in nature that says like if you're stupid, you're not going to survive. So stupidity can keep breeding itself into the population, and we keep ending up in the same messes.
yeah. But
Just look at me.
he looked into the camera sheepishly. Anyways,
Bah.
but no, it's kind of like what Christopher Titus says. And if you've never heard his material, fucking go listen to it. He's fucking brilliant. Um, but one of his famous things that he said is, "You have to fight stupid, otherwise stupid thinks it's right."
Yeah.
And it's fucking true.
Unless it's so stupid that you're never going to convince stupid that it's right, in which case why bother fighting stupid?
because if you do nothing, then stupid is allowed to continue and run rampant.
It's going to anyway, though. Whether you
It's
fight it or not, you can't lie. There's no like you have to have an IQ test or you have to take a test of some kind to be a parent. You have to take a test to drive a car. You don't have to take a test to become a parent. Isn't that a little backwards?
yeah, but in the same sense of like, okay, um, here's this 2-ton machine that if you're not careful with and you don't know what you're fucking doing, you're gonna either kill yourself, you're gonna royally fuck yourself, or you're gonna take some other people out, or you're gonna destroy property.
Right. But so then how do we handle it though? We wait until you're of a certain age, of a certain so-called maturity, supposedly, and we test you to say, hey, you're supposed to be at a level where you can be trusted with this responsibility, right?
Right.
And we test
But
you, and if you prove that yes, you are in fact responsible enough, we give you the privilege of driving a car or whatever. Well, I actually saw someone mention recently. It might have even been one of your friends posted it up. I don't remember, but someone posted something on Facebook about vasectomies, and they were like,
yes, I think that might have been Stephanie.
it might have been. Man, between her and one of your other friends, they post some great shit, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to them.
Love you,
But
Steph.
but it was something about like because it made the point about like how very often like we have no qualms about butting into women's reproductive rights and women's bodies and shit like that and poking and prodding, doing whatever because as men it's like whatever.
Yeah.
For some reason that's more okay than poking around with men's bodies. And they're like, what if vasectomies are reversible? Have all men have to have a vasectomy when and then at a certain age you can reverse it when it's determined that you can be a legitimate parent. You know what? I would fucking support that. Honestly, that sounds a little controversial and crazy, but you know what? Fuck it, man.
And here's a couple of things about that as well. Like, they're I'm trying to word this carefully here. So number one, like
it is a touchy topic.
It is. And like, look, I'm in full support of, women's rights. You're in control of your own body, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
There's a right way and a wrong way to drive a fucking car. Sometimes there really is no, like, right way or wrong way to know if somebody's going to be a good parent.
That's
Some
true.
there's kind of that gray area there.
That's a good point. That is a good point. That said, I think there are some things. Well, I mean,